wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq. Of Ukraine.
Wars have been fought over oil. In a short matter of time, they will be fought over war.
Is it 30? It's 39, right? ManCon 39, Marcus?
Feeling fine, 39. That's what.
It. Yeah. Well, I just turned 40, and so ManCon will turn 40 next week. Right in time for Thanksgiving.
In the shadow.
Wow. Big stuff.
Hell yeah.
ManCon 39, Lucid Fox on all the socials, and some of the socials maybe you don't even know about. On Blue Sky now.
Oh.
Doing a lot of Blue Sky things recently. Marcus is going to be over there soon.
I've got a Blue Sky.
Do you? Perfect.
Is sitting dormant.
That's what I mean. You're going to be over there posting soon so that we can, you know, get the promotional material and the communist pamphlets out on Blue Sky as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Although, if I'm going to make some type of like workaround bot when I learn to code.
Okay.
So that anytime someone reads the, communist propaganda post, a pamphlet of that same thing that they read just shows up at their doorstep, because like we got to stick to the basics. We got to make sure we're hitting the principles there. But yeah, posting to Blue Sky soon enough.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Telling me stuff.
Oh,
Marcus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Marcus is struggle_4 at the Twitch.
Yeah.
.tv. And on the YouTube, struggle_4, Instagram, struggle4. You can find us on Spotify, places, things, and YouTube. I don't know, man. You know how it goes.
It's good. It's perfect. Man, what an exciting set of weeks,
Yeah, it's like clown. I mean, it's just, I already am tired. I know that everybody that I know is already tired of Trump being president again. And it hasn't actually
even happened yet. We're not even there yet, man. I'm just already extremely fatigued, Ooh, boy. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. But
zone out there for a second.
We are in that special time.
Yes.
The lame duck.
Duck hunt, they call it.
Up until now, Biden's really been vibrant and, really in there.
Yeah.
But now comes those times where presidents get to start firing from the hip.
Yeah. Hey, didn't he like almost curse out somebody the other day at a press conference?
He did.
It's like almost fought him or something. I don't know.
Well, he told a reporter a camera could hit her in the back of the head. I don't know if you saw that.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, so he's wheeling dealing.
Yeah, living his best life.
There is, and when it comes to, I think maybe like they just start off with the Middle East, when it comes to supporting Israel's genocide and the 30-day letter. And this is the overall administration thing of not just like Biden doesn't really come out and make much announcements. Well, he does now and just wanders off into the jungle. But they had this 30-day letter. Obviously, Israel continues with its ethnic cleansing of northern Gaza. The UN and multiple humanitarian aids group come out with multiple reports using the U.S. letter from Blinken and Lloyd Austin as a framework and grading Israel off of that.
Yes.
obviously complete failure because they are ethnic cleansing and doing genocide. And at the end of the 30 days, the Biden administration said, we are going to continue assessing whether or not
constant assessment. Okay.
Israel is doing, not good things, possibly.
I believe the wording has changed too, right? Away from securing a Palestinian state, and now it's just to ensure protection and security or whatever it is.
And governance.
Security and governance, yeah. So like we're just wheels off now. Like it doesn't fucking like we are going to roll into a scenario, and who's to say what the counter of this would have been if Kamala Harris would have won? But we are just going to roll into a scenario where Trump is going to allow for the cleansing and annexation of Gaza. The thing is, though, I do, wonder about the actual on the ground difference. As much as with we're going to get into this later, but as far as the people Trump are coming in, there's just an honesty to what is happening right now. Sure. Absolutely.
There's I think especially even because as of right now, the mechanisms and the assessment as to how regular people can engage to assist in the movement and effort to stop this genocide, pressuring this government, whether it is Joe Biden, the campaign of Harris, or formerly Biden, all of these things are now gone. The Biden administration has now whatever multiple, quadruple time down of just bold-face supporting Israel, no matter what it does. And I think, and this is where, because of this, where it's the economic factors, the deeper levels of BDS, of not just your own personal purchases, but how is your union, your school, your workplace, even your localities can have investments in Israel, and things like even the letter from 80 Democrats that says they want to sanction Smotrich, the bill that Bernie Sanders is going to introduce over an arms embargo, some of those UN reports I mentioned earlier. These are some of the actual ammunition hopefully people could use to take to some of these organizations to get the ball rolling as to why this is important. But as far as this, Genocide Joe is who he's leaving off on this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. I think there's also obviously the decisions that they've made to encourage Ukraine to start striking deeper, as they walk out with no qualms, right? Biden's just hey, listen, if you could do whatever you want to, all right. Just
and the thing that is really puzzling is why now?
I have to imagine I keep looking at Biden's decisions over the past year, and I think there is a fair amount of it that's kind of just governed by spite. If we come to understand, right, the Kamala choice that he made in July, outside of the advising of people, of party heads like Nancy Pelosi, that were no, we should have a blitz primary. We should figure this out, and we should afford people a choice. And he's no, fuck yourself. I'm gonna endorse her immediately. And so I think, and then further, we look at throughout her campaign where there was little criticism of Biden from her camp. And I think a lot of operatives believe that was a direct result and ask of Biden, when as he was endorsing her and talking about what was going to happen. Those campaign aides that she took on, again, maybe more asked from his campaign as well.
So who is he spiting against? I guess so.
I think this is spite directly against Trump. I think this is just go fuck yourself. You figure this out. You're not going to pull out now, right? Because they are entrenching themselves even deeper in a conflict. You're not going to stop the funding.
So this is where I'm confused because, like, Trump won 2 full weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, and I would say
that's like my questioning
Trump,
as to like
Biden just woke up. Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Like, why now? Like, whoa, you're like, if this is a fuck Trump, it's like, no, you're like, you waited 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't. And this, it's like, this is, you know, this is where the thing is, where it's just like, this kind of just doesn't make any type of political sense. Yeah. And I, you know, and there's just a lot of people who have been saying, you know, like, well, this is just going to help Ukraine win and or get more leverage at the bargaining table. But then also, you know, they're talking about all, you know, the troops from the DPRK getting involved. Jesus. You know, like, you know, like all these kinds of, you know, and that's the way though, it's like, if that's the framework you're dealing on, right? Because like, I don't, you know, they're talking about all this types of wild shit with like tens of thousands, you know, 10,000, 13,000, you know, troops in the fight on the front lines and all, and like, but all, you know, if that's the framework that you're dealing with, you know, what really, you know, and it's like, like how do you see this actually playing out? Mm-hmm. Especially since, you know, if Trump is just going to make a deal with Putin. Yeah, you know, like, do they think that, oh, hey, we're going to do this and then we're going to get, you know, a few more miles of territory? You know, I don't know. I have no idea.
Possible. Like I just look at it more of a poison pill situation, you know, like I think about how Trump kind of left Afghanistan, you know, and then Biden comes in and has to deal with that. And then maybe, you know, like I said, maybe it's just coming to old Joe's head where he's like, actually, fuck this guy. I want to make shit worse for him, too. And that is just it. That is how, like, presidential fucking handoffs just go now. It's just, hey, go fuck yourself, you know? I mean kind of always has for quite some time. But
no, and I mean, that you know, that makes a little bit of sense. You know,
like, hey,
you know, I just, you know, it's, like, I war, you know, a lot of ways it just seems like the war for war's sake. Yeah. And, you know, that idea of like, you know, defending sovereignty and, you know, like that's what the law says, you know, like, sure, that's what this is, you know, international law says a nation state gets to defend its territory and, you know, blah, blah, blah at this fucking point, you know, because like we've seen the world just wash its ass with international law for a year now. And you know, you're just dealing with a framework that stops, you know, shooting major weapon systems and then discussions as of, you know, territory and all that type of stuff. And this is where it's like, I wish we lived in a world where realistically people were even considering and talking about returning all of Ukraine back to Ukraine, and everybody that considered themselves Ukrainian but spoke Russian can just, you know, feel comfortable in their own damn home. Yeah. Everybody leave, you know, I
like the entire thing is like,
what world would that, like, what world am I living in then?
Right.
Not like, this, not reality.
I want, again, like you look at somewhere like Cambodia, right? And there is no discussion for those people about like, who gives a fuck who lives where? Like they still have to live like every fucking week with like, all right, well, maybe my kid doesn't make it home because they get fucking annihilated by a mine. And that is decades out. And that is that is the future for Ukraine. Okay. I mean, that is what they are going to be dealing with.
And if they stop now, this is the thing where it's like, and if they stop now, they're dealing with this for at least a decade. Yes. And this is where, because like they've already started giving as much resources to demining areas that need to be demined to Ukraine as they have for like, you know, Cambodia and Laos. And like, this is part of the problem of just like no reparations, but like what you say is like 100% honest. Like warfare is poison for humanity in so many different layers. It is like the direct killing of one another, over territory and resources, displacement of civilians and killing of civilians, and the destruction of the ability to just live again, right? And because especially now when these just cities being wiped away, towns and villages being wiped away.
Yeah.
Genocide Joe, thank you. Great. This is fantastic. You know, and that's like, I really, you know, and then comes Trump.
Yep. Yep.
However, since in comes Trump.
Yes. Yeah.
Some of the Western media, they need to change their uniform.
It's amazing, man. I watched a little bit of the Joe and Mika stuff. I didn't finish it, but god damn, dude.
It's graphic.
Imagine debasing yourself, you know, in such a way. But again, this is just writ large, like the Democratic apparatus, right? Like you look at like Jared Polis, and he's just like, I don't know, maybe we need to hear some of them out, guys.
Yeah. Well, and we should, you know, as far as the officials, so Governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, with the RFK choice.
Yeah.
RFK, well, and this is where it's just like, you just like,
not even that, well, not even like, hey, RFK Jr., let's hear him out. He was like, and I know about like vaccine mandates, they can be dangerous. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? What are you actually saying right now?
And then he has to come back over of like, well, we got to trust the CDC. And it's like, no shit. Yeah. No shit. Pathetic.
Yeah, absolutely pathetic.
Moskowitz from Florida.
Yeah.
Just like applauding Elise Stefanik to the UN.
Yep.
Applauding.
Because they're all the same
Marco
club
Rubio.
of just like rampant freaks that take incredible amounts of money from APAC. So fuck them.
Yeah. Well,
they're
and like that's where like
in the same club.
The fact that like Marco Rubio is China and Iran hawk is also a benefit. Like there's a whole mess of or Democrats. Almost slipped up there. It doesn't really matter sometimes. But there's a whole mess of Democrats that just are on board with that as well, you know. And well, they think because they don't trust Trump to be as anti-China as, you know, an establishment figure or whatever. They don't trust. And that's where, you know, we just just like this place sucks shit because as far as like whatever Trump does, it's going to be a whole bunch of nonsense. But yeah, it is kind of pathetic because this is something that like, and like, I don't want to do like Republicans never do, but like the Republicans never fucking do this. Party discipline. Like at best, you're going to get Republicans that say, I'm going to hear him out in the hearing and I'll make my decision based off of the questioning. You know, they'll just like play it fucking slow and low until the hearing goes and they fucking quietly vote yes for, you know, every once in a while for a Democratic nominee, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, if that's going to happen, that's how that happens. Outside of that, they don't say one nice thing about anything that any of these does. It is 100% playing politics. But at the end of the day, what do you do for your job? And that's one thing where it's like having these Democrats just, I mean, it's literally week 2 after the election, y'all.
Yeah.
Have some discipline.
Yeah, have some fucking dignity is all I'm asking for. Like, right? God damn.
Well, they obviously don't have fucking dignity. Okay.
Yeah.
I just hope, and this is where you just see like the fecklessness of the party in general from leadership, because like this is the type of stuff that you need to have the internal messaging down. You need to have the, hey, this is how we are going to handle this. Say whatever you want about this. Do not go down on your knees for Marco Rubio or anybody else.
I'm sorry, you'll just never see this from goddamn Republicans, man.
Crazy.
It's wild to me. Absolutely wild to me.
Sad. Pathetic. But then the media. Joe Scarborough.
Yeah.
I want and this is okay. So Morning Joe, literally a month ago, are out here calling Donald Trump a fascist. If you vote for Trump, you support fascism. He's racist. He's a fascist. This is Joe Scarborough. You know what I'm saying? Hey, dog. And I don't disagree with him at the point. It's just he's a coward. And he knows exactly where the bread is buttered.
Yeah.
And they said they went and this is their little message. We went to Mar-a-Lago to interview with him. There ain't no interview. You went in front of him to fall on your fucking sword. You went on, that's all they did. Begging for him to do an interview with them someday. Saying we won't be mean. We'll hear you out. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
It's so fucking disappointing, to see. I don't know. I know what's going to take place. I know what's going to happen with a lot of these freaks. They're obviously keyed into whatever's still going to get them views. And to be that way, they have to sell their soul, right? They have to be morally ambiguous. They have to just kind of allow themselves into this shifting amorphous role. But I mean, even, I'll say it, I'm not mad at the intense mania that Rachel Maddow wrapped herself up in during the first Trump administration, because at least she fucking believed in anything. I'm not mad that she Russiagated for years, because again, at least she fucking believed in something. Joe and Mika are such fucking losers that have no self-respect whatsoever. Just
the bar is
such
low.
It's so fucking low. It's so deep into hell.
Oh my God.
At least
not wrong, because oh my God,
it's so fucking sad to look at these folks. Again, he hasn't even taken office yet. And you're going to do this?
That's the frustrating thing, is that and this isn't oh, hey, fucking Bernie bro, here he goes. But without the perspective of a working class, it's almost really impossible to critique Trump and the conservatives now, and be anywhere close to effective. And a lot of this shit is they're in a cult. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a MAGA cult that is a political party that is now taking power when and that's so much of this is going to be Russia, not And that's where, the farmers with the soybeans.
Yes.
During the first administration, those are the types of things that are actually going to be, really hurtful to Trump, not the scandal, not the deals with any of the foreign politics or whatever. How is his policies actually hurting, the people he professes to care for?
Yeah.
And then if the Democratic Party wants to be successful, they have to have policies, and in places where they do have power, they actually have to be doing those things that are, a counterbalance to that.
Yeah. I think the funniest thing that I saw this week was somebody that they retweeted somebody talking about what the RFK Jr. bans could mean for different industries, and it was no more high fructose corn syrup. And it's wow, Ann Selzer was just a little too soon, you know? She's actually more of a Nostradamus. She saw Iowa +3 in 2020.
It's like it's
once these farmers just get completely fucked out of corn subsidies, like then they'll see.
Yeah, that is going to give you this huge flip. Well, I mean, it's crazy because like some of this stuff is just like they like RFK found like Michelle Obama's like first lady pamphlet of like, you know, healthy foods and getting rid of sugars and all that fucking shit. But these are like just very interesting contradictions that are going to come about.
Yeah.
Where, it's stuff where like RFK is talking about, absolutely asinine things about anti-vax stuff and like the history of like his anti-vax propaganda has gotten dozens of
literal
people
killed. Yeah.
Children killed. And so much of his other fucking, you know, so much of his like stuff that he's saying, getting rid of the fluoride in the water, you know, it's like this is going to be directly just absolutely harmful. Where people are kind of like really like where people get these like crumbs of like reliability or respectability is when he's like talking about, you know, sugar and food and this, you know, because these are things that have been known.
Yeah.
We've known this for so long. You know, it's just when it's presented in certain ways, you literally have corporations propagandizing people and like saying like
I'm sorry, he's gonna have a sharp awakening when he gets to meet like fucking lobbyists, and they'll be like, hey man,
he's like pull go from my cold dead hands, brother.
Hey
you know,
brother, you ever see what happened in Dallas to your family? You know, like
I mean, I literally,
yeah,
I mean, like you have no idea how much Texas freaks would do this type of shit.
And
but
that's
like,
just,
like,
and that was just for Cuba. You're fucking with the heartland,
exactly. Boys from
dude.
Yankees coming down here. Yeah, but like that's the thing that's like so wild is, or it's gonna be interesting how this plays out. Of like, okay, RFK. Try regulating certain dyes in foods. You know, let's try and, you know, let's grab some, you know, European, you know, because like, and that's what the thing is like where they say like, all right, whatever Ireland's rules are for Subway that says whatever we got is cake, let's have bread instead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just start copy over some of the good stuff and see, just try it out. RFK, just give it an old swing. Let's see what happens. But something tells me he's going to have a lot better help or a lot easier time trying to dismantle stuff around the CDC, you know, other than actually putting in regulations that would make our food healthier. It's just a guess. Also, the thing about him and, you know, the rest as we get into some of these appointments.
Well, before the appointments, I just want an obligatory kind of fuck Dana Bash too, talking about conventional media.
Oh, yeah.
we didn't touch on that. Just real quick. Man, what a fucking freak.
Oh, my God.
Who can tell where Nazis come from these days? Like, fuck you, lady.
So
you
insane.
Absolute fucking freak. You CIA adjacent fucking freak.
Yeah, and so the whole equating Nazis to pro-Palestinian, anti-genocide protesters and Nazis, Dana Bash can't tell the difference. And Joe and Mika, and this is Tuesday, November 19th, we're recording.
Yeah.
After the whole Amsterdam, right? Like just bullshit propaganda about, you know, people going after Jewish people, which was a complete lie. You had these soccer hooligans that were literally causing trouble, causing violence with cab drivers, all this type of stuff. News media just completely false for it. Some of them have actually come out and like corrected it. Some of them have just pulled down the false shit that they talked about.
Yeah.
But today they had on the Jonathan Greenblatt from the ADL, who wrote an op-ed saying that Jews in America are in danger because of the soccer hooligans.
Yep. What an unrepentant freak he is.
So yeah, the mainstream media is a bunch of ghouls, and they are just handing over so many more tools to the fascists. Like literally, like Joe Scarborough is like, my morning show, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. What else can I offer to you? You need more room, right? To spread your propaganda? No problem.
Well, I mean, he gave it to Joe Biden. Morning
true.
Joe was one of the last bastions for the forever Biden crew. So
One of the final holdouts for riding with Biden.
Just a bag in the wind, Joe Scarborough. You know?
Yeah. Man. Go fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Now,
Trump appointments. Exciting stuff.
So the thing about RFK, which like he's one of the, non-conventional ones, right? But he's got seemingly a similar pattern of behavior as so many other Trump pigs, is that of sexual assault.
Yes.
So him with his babysitter or his child's babysitter. And then you've got Pete Hegseth. There's a
actual Nazi Pete Hegseth. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just, a few of them are Nazis. Some of them are sexual predators, some of them both. It is like just assembly of ghouls. But there's like a lady who like works in like a conservative organization who has essentially done a police report that had spelled out her being, roofied, and then, woke up the next morning knowing that she had been raped. Pete Hegseth paid her money to not say anything, but claims he did nothing wrong because
because he can, because
makes
what's he gonna
sense.
say?
Matt Gaetz is been a little bit more prominent, and the multitude of congressional members that months ago were saying they know for like they heard him talking about doing drugs, having sex with young women. He had videos. You have people in this ethics committee investigation that have testified that there was an underage girl that Matt Gaetz had sex with at the party.
Yeah.
Attorney General. This is our country. And to say like the Republicans just confirm them. I'm not sure why we're even going through any of the.
No, I mean, but again, this is what we talked about earlier with like Republicans closing ranks. They'll gladly do so.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the Bears
Democrats will
thought
sit
they
and
were.
grovel immediately, but the Republicans know, like they have a fucking core mission, and it doesn't really matter who's at the top. I mean, like we know that because we've paid attention to politics long enough. Denny Hastert fucking molested countless children, and they didn't give a fuck because again, he was pushing through their policy. He was achieving for them, like it doesn't matter. These people are all freaks. They're all thieves. They're all, they are rapists. Absolutely. And it doesn't matter because they are asserting the political will of the apparatus, And
that's like you have like Mike Johnson talk about like Christian virtues and all this type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter. Of course it can be contradictory. Yeah. I mean, like Trump himself is a contradiction to like any evangelical thought outside of like, 100%. Doomsday fucking like, ideation.
Yeah. No, and this is where it's just like hammering down on this hypocrisy stuff that the conservatives don't care about. But this is where like, what does it say about Democrats who continuously go to the bipartisan well for Nazis or people who are sitting at the same table as open white nationalists? Like, what is that? And Nancy Mace just one of the most evil individuals.
Her and MTG both have been just
awful,
disgusting
just
the past couple of days. Yeah.
Because to support the amount of rapists that are on this parade of appointments and then go after another duly elected member of Congress.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And the thing that's like really in like, where are even the Democrats? That's where the thing is too, where it's like the idea, like where like how is this how are you not protecting her? How are you not actually how is
member
no one
of your party?
like it's so crazy.
What are you doing?
And like
I don't want to go too far into disgusting.
It might be too woke to allow someone to use a fucking bathroom and like this is
these
important.
people are losers. They believe they have a loser ideology, you know, like these people are losers and they don't believe, like Democrats also don't believe in anything. They don't believe in protecting people, you know, like this is it. Like if you wanted to like vision into like how they actually like feel about like protecting trans people and what links they would go to, there are no links, you know, they're not going to do anything to rebuke these freaks.
I mean, Seth Moulton. Yeah. Seth Moulton, they wake up, you know, Seth Moulton wakes up after the election. He wins re-election.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Kamala Harris won his, you know, the state that he's in.
Yep.
No big deal. But because, hey, he, you know, Kamala lost to Trump and he wakes up in a cold sweat. Okay. Yeah. He's having night terrors. All right. Trump is back into office. And the only thing that he could think about is his daughters potentially playing a sport and getting injured, but not just getting injured, you see.
Yeah.
After the night of the election, when Trump won, talking about rounding up all the immigrants, right? Talking about using the military to crush dissent. Talking about locking up people of the military, you know, and Seth Moulton is just so terrified of his children playing a sport sometime in the future and being injured by somebody who was trans.
Yep. It sucks, man. It sucks thinking about like what
you're crazy. You're a crazy person.
Are going to turn into. Yeah, like it sucks. You need help to realize. Well, again, like any progressive issue that they've raised in the past couple of weeks, it's like, literally, what are we doing, man? Like you're trying to defund the police, lost somebody something. Like what are you talking about? And that would defund the police happened during the Biden administration. The Democrat won. Okay. Yeah. Like supporting trans people happened during a Democrat administration, and Biden won. Like these are messages that were very potent in 2020, and this guy beat Trump by millions of votes. What are you talking about? People that lost this election were the Democratic Party distancing itself from labor, distancing itself from any idea providing people an actual choice in their electoral politics. You know, like this is a party that has lost any idea of the identity of it, not its own identity, but the identity of its voters. It does not know how to talk to people any longer.
Well, there's no connection to people. It's not just, that's like they're only focused on talking.
Yes. Like
they're only focusing on a message that works and they're missing.
I will say there's one thing that gives me like just the smallest fucking glimmer of hope. It is that like a lot of people that voted Dem this election are kind of lost. Like my liberal friends, they don't know what to do because these people are just saying freak shit. And out of that, you know, maybe there's a chance to just be like, hey, listen.
You know, I don't say I appreciate someone like Andy Bashir coming out and saying, like, in a red state, he won re-election. And he said weeks after he vetoed an anti-LGBTQ bill.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, you don't have to, like, running on hate. It is a really disgusting thing. And it's so pathetic. It is really pathetic especially to say you lose this election, and that's where they're like completely missing with these ads. You know, they are targeting trans people and trying to create a trans panic. But where the ad really hits is that the Democrats aren't there for for working class people, and to include trans people. Like, that's where it's like, at this point too, is like, in some state by state, you could have their like legislators that are actually pushing for good stuff, generally, it just depends. They we're all in the same boat of just treading fucking water at best. And this is where that like lack of actual connection, because you can't message around bullshit. I mean, if there's the way the actual people were feeling the economy, you can't say we're the best in the world.
Yeah.
You got to speak to the rent is too damn high, and they refuse to do it.
Yep. That's it. I don't know. It used to be a Democratic Party that at least understood that part. I don't know.
When?
I mean, like, I just think back to, FDR and New Deal Democrats, and FDR didn't serve everyone, but he did, like, he looked at, during the Great Depression, and looked at, the progressive movement and the socialism, was like, I'll crib some of those ideas because those seem popular. I think that's the way to dig us out of that hole.
And this is the lesson that I think forever to learn, is that FDR was responding to the outward pressures.
Yes.
And it's important to interrogate where there's a lot of not full equality.
Oh no, absolutely.
Right?
No,
but
no means.
Like the lesson there, right? The lesson, I think, is still very is the most relevant lesson.
Yes.
Is that this Democratic Party is only going to respond to the outward pressure. And I think that's, something that the, mentioning of like the Democratic Party benefited the most from the Black Lives Matter movement, coming through 2020. That's one of the highest increase in voter sign up for the party ever.
Yeah. The reasons that things like Georgia happen.
Yeah. And this is where when next time around, a lot of those organizers has been getting their asses kicked around Cop City. What happens?
Yep. Absolutely. Sorry.
And then Michigan, and this is where with Pennsylvania, they're doing a recount in Pennsylvania. Hey, good luck. It's not like it's going to change the majority or anything, but one less Republican that gives Susan Collins more power is always more funny for more hearing how concerned she is more than we have to.
Amazing.
But and that's like, it's somebody, especially when you talk about like, it is interesting how many of the swing state senators were Democrat. And Kamala lost all of the swing states. Yep.
Every single one.
And then you got Pennsylvania where, it's coming down to the wire. And with, I think it's like somewhere around like 17,000 votes is where, like the last I saw,
Yep. Man. Well, I don't know. We're gonna see. It's gonna be very interesting to see what the Democratic Party does in the next couple of years.
Well,
what they find.
I mean, honestly, if they start listening to someone like Ann Bashir, like some of them are start talking about, because something like it's a place in Missouri, minimum wage, rent control. In some states you're getting what is the other thing? I can't remember, but there's like it's simple. It's simple. The policy's been there. They just need to pick it back up, and people will run with it. But the consultant class, Kamala Harris's brother-in-law, the Uber executive, or was it? You know what I'm saying? Like
So
they're
crazy,
in line with crypto. They got Mavericks owner asshole Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban, yeah.
What am I supposed to hear from this dude?
Yep.
My picks for the damn fantasy basketball. What does he know about me?
Yeah.
What does he know about us? So coming around, and then you got Liz Cheney. You know what I'm saying? Like, most lethal military, billionaires, and crypto and tech bros.
Yep. Like, yeah, what am I supposed to think of your party? I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to believe that that's God? Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe they figure it out, but I'm really worried that they just fucking don't. Yeah.
We will see.
And then one thing, and I know it more than anything else, the Trump administration is going to be benefited by one man. The input from a single uncle.
Well,
That's right. I speak of Cenk Uygur. Going to give his input to Elon about the Pentagon.
you see, that's what's really good. Okay.
Yeah.
About democracy
Yeah.
is that you get rid of these unelected bureaucrat
Yeah.
elites.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You get rid of
got
those.
You got it.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Trump, he appointed Elon to the Department of Government Efficiency, which doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that we've created a new bureaucracy to tamp down government bureaucracy,
Yes.
and appointed an unelected billionaire.
Yes. Unelected bureaucrats can now listen to the whims of the people. And I think that's beautiful, honestly.
Yeah. He could just take input from the public openly on his own
the open
website.
Square.
Yeah. About the funding and decision makings of our defense mechanisms.
Incredible.
This is a good idea.
This is good. Yeah, this is a good idea, I think. You don't understand, Marcus. Democrats have never listened to him. Not like Elon does. Elon's nothing. He's not a cabinet member. He's nothing. Elon
honestly,
responded to me on Twitter. Yeah, he responds to a lot of people in his fucking ketamine-fueled craze, dude. Who cares?
I wanted to hate this, and I made fun of this to the point where I'm like, no. I am now ready to usher in our overlords of government oversight and accountability, in which case they're willing to just have a discussion openly about the military funding on Twitter. You know what?
Listen,
God damn it.
A Bill Clinton letter back in like the 90s would have hit so hard for Cenk. You know, if he got like, we've listened to what you have to say, little boy, and we actually like this fucking guy just is bewildered by I could probably give him like a drone or something. He'd be like, "Oh my god, it flies in the air! That's sorcery!"
I'm sorry. I'm Team Cenk right now. I just need Cenk to ask get Elon to get you. What's on the shadow budget? Cenk, ask your buddy Elon what's on the shadow budget. Okay, real quick. Okay, you're the best. You're the best. Hey, and that's where it's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? What is Jake doing? Getting ready for his second congressional run that he's actually going to win this time. And why? Yeah. Hey, Elon.
It's Elon. It's happening.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, this country is a little cooked.
Yeah. A little bit. At least, listen, that the Cenk thing is very funny, but I will just double back for a second. I told you earlier, I do think my favorite thing out of the Trump appointments has kind of been RFK Jr. because there's that picture, man. It's burned in my head of the look on his face when he's sitting there having to eat a fucking Big Mac with Trump is amazing. You talk about humiliation rituals. That's it. You know,
I almost want a oil painting done. Yeah. of just like, and it's like RFK with the hamburger, fucking Ted Cruz making phone calls.
It's so good.
Mitt Romney.
Yes,
at the
every
dinner.
one of these people. God, dude. He just needs to stunt on Marco Rubio too. He just like his first traveling for Secretary of State's just gonna be some dipshit fucking place he's never been to. We have no diplomatic relations with whatsoever.
And that's what it's like. Part of me is still holding out hope that he's just doing Lucy with the football with little Marco, and like literally like 10 minutes before he's like gonna walk in for the Senate hearing, he's like, I decided I like my secretaries of state who aren't little Marco. Sorry,
Actually,
just thought about it. Changed my mind.
I was watching Fox News. I think Greg Gutfeld would be better. Right? I think it would be funnier if people would like him.
Yeah, which I mean, so many. And that's what's crazy. All right, Peg said, defense, Secretary of Defense, Fox News host.
So insane, dude.
There's another dude. The Department of Energy. No, it was not the Department of Energy is just like a straight like oil baron.
Yeah.
I can't. Somebody else that he chose. It was like just another Fox News host.
Yeah.
And
man.
I mean,
that's what he sees every day. This is Grandpa making his
white
picks.
supremacists, Fox News host, rapists. You know what I'm saying? And there's just like a version of like those
guys.
things. Yeah.
I love them. They look good on TV.
The company you keep.
Fuck. Oh man. Silver lining, Mark. Yeah.
A silver lining.
Yeah.
Friendsgiving is coming up.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, that's mine. That's mine. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna cook so much good food. You don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm
Excited
so
for
ready.
that.
Ugh. Yeah.
There's just I don't know, like, is there like a limit to how many times you could shake your damn head?
Oh man. Yeah. Mine's the same thing. It's Friendsgiving.
Well,
I'm going shopping tomorrow. I've got like a whole list of shit to cook. It's gonna be awesome. So,
nice.
So we got that going for us.
Yeah, that's good.
Well,
that's good.
Next week we'll be fuller and happier, or something.
Let's hope.
Can't wait to see what another week brings.
Fox is gonna have trouble staffing.
Jesus Christ, man! Yeah, he's simultaneously taking away the Republican majority and also taking away Fox's primetime lineup.
God damn it!
Stupid. This is so stupid.
This is a joke country. This is a joke country.
It's a joke country.
Fucking hell.
Man.
And take care of yourselves in this garbage joke country.
Hit the like, subscribe button, all those things. We'll be back next week. Bye.
Peace.